welcome everyone. Welcome to our new session. Hope you are okay. I'm sure that you have practiced the last session and you're completely ready for this one. In this session, we are going to focus on learning how we can use some more items to in order to complete our project faster, you can say. Alright guys, so far from drawing tools, we have talked about line, polylines, and rectangles. And in modifiers, we have talked about move, copy, then we talked about trim and some subcategories. We talked about extend. We talked about fillet and chamfer as well. And we talked about explode and one of the most useful ones, offset. And we learned that we can use erase to delete and remove whatever we want. Now, in this session, as I said, we want to see what other techniques, items, and tools we can use to help us complete our project even faster. All right, so let's get on with our work. All right, so let's open up our file. Guys, I just clicked on the tab here. I told you that we can use a shortcut key. What was it? Exactly. We can use a shortcut key, Control Tab. So in this session, we're going to work on some of the details here in these areas and this theater as well, for example. And remember, I told you this is a departmental building, consists of a ground floor and a first floor. And we're going to work on it step by step together so you won't have any kind of problem. All right, so far we have drew our walls up to this part here. I can draw this wall as well to complete this area, and something has happened in this area, this whole area. We're going to talk about it later, so let me just draw this wall up to axis H. So we can use L enter to draw this wall like this. Then we can use O enter to put our offset 20 cm. All right. And as we said in the last session, we can use trim to remove this. Okay, so this was kind of like a little practice as well. So now if you check your plan again, you can see something has happened here. You can see whatever you have in this side, you kind of have it on that side as well. It's kind of like a symmetrization. So now we are going to talk about this command which helps us to symmetrize everything that we have in one side to the other side instead of just drawing everything all over again. All right, let's check it. First, we need to go to our file. Before we start working, we need to work on some examples. Let me just draw this rectangle here. Let's draw another one inside it. Okay, let me use another color. Okay, we can select blue, for example. So, guys, what I want to do here is I want to copy this rectangle here without using copy or move. So I can use another command called mirror. Mirror works as copy and move all together at the same time. And as always, we have some items and subcategory items that we can use in this command as well. All right, let's see how it works. So I want to have a copy of this rectangle in this side. Okay, so as I said, we can use mirror this time. Let's check the icon up here in this box. This is its icon. It works based on your selection of the items and the symmetry axis that you set. What is its shortcut key? It is MI enter. Now, if you check the comment bar, it says we have to select an object. Then we need to select the first point that we want to draw our axis from. So this is the first point, and if you take a look at here, Nothing is set yet. We have a copy of this shape, as you can see, but it's not placed yet. Then we need to select the second point of our axis. So the second point would be down here. Our axis would be in Y course. Okay, and just like this, we have a mirroring of this rectangle in this side. Now let's do something else. Let's this time copy or mirror these two shapes based on X course. Select them both. MI enter. Again, we set the first point here and the second one. And just like this, we have another mirroring. Okay, now let's do another example. C or enter. Let's just copy this like this, all right? Okay, so far we learned that if you want to mirror things, we have to first set a symmetry axis. But now we want to do something else. MI enter, then select the shape, and after that enter again. You can just activate F8 and then draw a line somewhere in your workspace, and this would be your symmetry axis instead of setting two different points for your axis. So you can use a line, you can draw a line with F8 which works as your axis. Now I want to symmetrize this rectangle based on a diagonal. So we can select this shape, for example, then MI enter. First point would be here, and the second one would be here. Oh, first we need to deactivate F8, and the second point would be here. But this is not a mirror, is it? Why this happened? Because this is a schematic shape. This is not a complete square. We don't have a same length in the lines. Now let's do another example. This time we are going to draw a rectangle with same and direct length for lines. We can use dynamic input. We can just put the lengths, for example, 10 and 10. So this is a 10 by 10 square now, and this is another square inside it with another color, for example. Okay. Now we want to mirror this based on our diagonal. So this is the first point and another one, and enter. Let's do it again, this time for this diagonal. Let's select both squares. Okay. MI enter. This would be our axis here, and this is our mirrors. Now we have a question here, which is an important one. Let's do this again to understand it better. So what we're going to do here is we're going to mirror these two squares based on this line that we have here, based on this x-course axis that we have here. Now before we place our shapes by pressing enter, we have a question here. Erase source object, If we click on no, which is a default option as well, nothing would happen to our source shapes. But if we choose yes, let's actually do it. Let's choose yes. The source objects would be omitted. So again, MI enter based on these 2 points. This is our line. Erase source object on no, because we don't want to omit the source objects. Alright, so this was mirror. Very easy and useful. Now, one might ask where we can use mirror exactly in our projects. Well, in so many places. Let's see, let's have an example. Okay, now let's draw something with polyline. We want to draw a shape. Let's see what we got here. All right. We can activate arc as well. Okay. For example, something like this. Let's select this now. Now, MI enter. Then let's draw an axis. And we can draw a line up here. Okay. We just created this, you can say, grail, for example. We can use this command for drawing minarets or domes as well. We haven't talked about arcs completely, but you can do that too. Or for creating echelon views like this, for example. You can just draw one side and use mirror to draw the other side. So if you can define an axis, if you can set an axis in both Y or X course, you can basically and easily create its mirror on the other side of the axis. Now we want to use this command for our project. Let's see. Alright, so if we check our plan again, we can see that we have drew this area here and with this door opening, and we can see something similar in this side of our plan as well. So we can draw this or we can mirror this as well. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. But first, we have a door opening here in this area. Try to draw as much things and items as possible before you start your mirroring. For example, if you have the same furniture in those areas, try to work on the furniture first, and then we can go ahead and start our mirroring. All right, let's see what we can do. First, we need to select the items that we want to mirror, but if we do this selection from right to left like this, everything would get selected, all the lines, axes, and so on. And this is not correct. We just need this area here, so we can select from left to right. And after that, we can select the rest of the lines one by one like this. So this is the area that we want to mirror. Now type down your command, MI enter. Now a question here. How can I find the correct point to draw my symmetry axis? How can I find out the center point so that I can draw my axis? Well, is it this point? Let me try. Is it symmetrized? No, I don't think so. So let's go back. We need to talk about a new point here. So type down the command, and this time you don't need to redo your selection again. You can just type down P, enter, and what we just did here is called select previous, which is basically a selection of the items that you have selected before. And you don't need to select all the items one by one again. Now we need to find the 2 points from which we can draw our symmetry axis. Again, we can use another technique to find our center point. Let's see. One thing that we know is that these 4 lines are placed in the center of our plan. So what we can do here is we can type down M2P, which stands for mid 2 point. With this, we can find the midpoint between 2 other points. For example, midpoint between these 2. And now the only thing that I can do here is activate F8 and click. And for erase source object, we choose no. Very easy, very simple. We didn't need to draw anything again. Now, the only thing that we can do is we can use trim to trim these extra lines that we have here. Okay, where else? Here. So if you learn and use all the necessary tools and techniques, you can see that how much faster you can actually work. Okay, now let's go back to our plan and check some other things. First of all, we have these dashed lines here. Guys, when we have these dashed lines in our plan, for example, in door openings, it means that we have some kind of a height difference in their bases, or we have something like a dome. As an example, again here in our file, let's assume that this rectangle is our door. Alright, the script got a little bit large. Alright. Above the door, we might have something like an arc or dome, which we show with dash lines like this. Or we might have something above the door again, something like a glass, or a glass with a frame, you can say, even like this. Or even sometimes when we have a door opening, again in our plans, we might have something like this in our door opening. Let's actually use the previous commands as well. You can complete this shape with the help of fillet, for example. This is a good practice of our previous session as well. Alright, we might have something like this. We don't have a door or a wall, we just have a opening here, or have an opening here. So we can use dash lines to show this one as well. Or maybe we have something like a dome again here. Okay, let's delete these. And now we know what these dash lines that we have in our door openings really are. Alright, but these are here. These are related to something, some changes or some views, some, I don't know, anything that you think in the ceiling. And this polyline, this red polyline that we have here, it's our view line, and it has no thickness or you can say cut in it. So it is some kind of a view with, you can say, with some kind of an edge that is somehow above the floor. Yeah, something like a pool, which is you can say 50 cm above the floor. Yeah, we can assume something like this, and now we can start drawing it. Alright, so now in this file, in our file, we can go to elevation layer that we have created. Then we can use rectangle, REC, and we can draw from the exterior edge of our columns. Then enter 20 cm towards interior, I'm sorry. Now let's work on the dash lines that we have for, in our openings. Okay. First, this one, enter. Again, we are drawing these in our elevation layer because all of these are counts as view. We don't want them to be thick. You can turn on or off your line weight. It doesn't make any kind of difference. Now we can just copy this line like this with some kind of an offset. And now we need to change this line to dash lines. So first we select the line, then up here in properties, let's see if we have dash lines. No, we don't. So click on others, and in this window now, then load. We talked about all of these different line types in the last session. So in here we can select, for example, hidden to. Now we can select it in here as well. Now select the line again, and after that open up your properties again and select hidden to. Okay, now we have to set the scale as well. We said we have two ways for doing that. We can either click on this option here, or better yet, we can use a shortcut key command that we talked about, Control-1. And in here we can change the scale of our line type. For example, let's try 0.05. Yeah, it's actually okay. And we talked about another point before as well. We said that this kind of scale setting is way different from when you set your scale in global scale. All right, what was the point? We said if you set your scale using Control 1, only the item that you have selected would get changed. But if you set your scale from here in global scale, everything that you'll draw using the scale would change. And this could have a huge impact on your work and your outcome. Now we can continue our work on these lines using match properties like this. Easy. And after that, we can just copy this, and we can use the copy instead of drawing everything one by one. Oh, and another technique. If I use line to draw a line here, I can use match properties again, okay? And I can do something else. I can do a right click here, and then in here choose add selected. And this way I'm telling AutoCAD that I want to draw something similar to this shape in some other place. Let's see. Very, very simple. You just need to select your shape and then do a right click. Then click on add selected. And again. All right. And from now on, I can just place these kind of line by pressing enter in whatever place that I want in my workspace. Another one here. Enter, and again enter. Another one here. All right. So simple as that. Now we just drew all of the hidden lines, you can say, for above the door openings in our plan. And then just trim out the extra lines. All right. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have these lines here. So in here we can click on add selected. And first one, like this. Then the next one. Or actually we can use mirror to do this faster. Draw another line right here. And we might have another edge in a ceiling here. That's why we can see this hidden line here. The scale for this part was okay, but here we might need a different one because our scale is not good enough for these areas. So we can press Ctrl 1, and for example, we can put the scale on 1. What about 0.5? Let's try 0.1. Okay, yeah. This one is good. Next, we can use match properties later. Now we want to use mirror. Enter, select this line based on this line here. Then enter again based on this 2 point. All right, again, press enter. This time based on these 2 points. And yeah, we're done. Okay, something is not adding up here. I think these two areas are not symmetric, right? So we need to do this manually. Let's check the plan here. Yeah, as you can see, we have different distances based on X and Y courses. All right, don't worry. Let's complete these areas as well. Okay, let's see what we should do. This area is drawn up to axis O, and this one is up to axis F. All right. And we have 2 walls in these areas. So we need to close down these parts. We can use polyline to draw these walls, but first we are in elevation. We are in elevation layer, so we need to go to wall layer, and now use polyline again to draw the walls like this. Enter 20 cm, despite the fact that this is an interior wall. After that, we need to trim the extra lines. Now let's see if we can use mirror here. MI enter. Based on these 2 points here, let's see. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, let's see what else we can do. For example, we can use mirror again, this time in this area and in this area as well. Now let's see how we can work this time. Okay, let me just first check the axis as well. I have axis F. All right, so we have a distance here, 11. Oh, this is on dimension. We need to use distance. You'll understand the difference later on. So we had 1.15 meters. Let's go back. Now let's select this item from right to left with a click drag. MI enter. Then after that, we can type down M2P between these 2 points. Here it is. Okay. And after that, let's check the distance for this one. We have 1 meters 5 cm. Okay, it's not important. We can use mirroring here as well. And after that, you can stretch this part here. Okay. No worries. Let me just check the distance again. How much was it? It was, all right, 1.15 meters. Yeah, we can draw this line here with a 20 cm offset. Use fillet to connect the walls. Now MI enter. Based on the center here. So basically you just need to know when to use which technique, and just like this you can see how much faster you're working. So we had 1.15 meters. We can put an offset here for 1.15 meters. Then we can stretch this part SCR and select our items, and after that we can just select it as stretch it. Oh, we didn't select this correctly. Again, STR. As I told you before, selection is a very important factor when you want to stretch things. Then you can unselect your axis with holding shift, and then you can stretch your walls. Very simple. All right, let's see if we can mirror this area as well. Let's check the plan. We might be able to mirror this based on this center point here. Let's see what we can do. Select, MI enter again, M2P between these 2 points, and enter. Let's check it. Again, let's check the distance from the edge. We have 95 cm. And the distance in here is 65. Okay. This time we can move it 30 cm further. Let's check the distance to control the distance again. 95. Okay. Now for this part, L enter, draw the lines. Then F enter, use fillet to connect them. And we have 220 cm offsets as well. Just like this, okay. And trim. So you have to pay attention to these areas like this. They might, sometimes 2 areas might appear completely similar, but they aren't. If we selected these areas and unselect these ones, if you would have used mirror here based on these points, I think it would have worked. Yeah, let's deactivate F8. See? Yeah, so I made a mistake here. So it wasn't symmetrized completely. You could have just mirrored it based on the center point of this void area that we have. These are actually good. These are, as I said, we can call these happy mistakes because we can learn how we can use different techniques. Okay, so by now I think you have completely understood this command mirror and how you can use it in different situations to work faster. For example, let's say for these openings here, if you draw the first one, you can then easily mirror it based on this wall to the other side. Then you can again mirror these 2 points, these 2 doors based on these axes to the other side. You can go ahead and do these as a practice. Now we're going to start working on this amphitheater that we have here. First, we have this wall up to this column. Let's check the distance here. DI enter. We have 2 meters towards interior. All right. So let's try to draw it. PL enter. And like this. Then 2 meters in. Continues to this column. Let's use the auxiliary lines. F8 activated. And like this. Draw like this. Okay, it's not correct. So press U enter. Don't close down the command. Just press U enter to undo. Draw another line like this. I think the thickness is 20 cm as well. Let's check. Yeah, 20 cm. So we need an offset. O enter. 0.2 towards interior. Then we need to work on a door. We have a door here. The distance is 2 meters. Yeah. In here, let's draw an auxiliary line like this. Then select it. O enter. 1 meters left, 1 meters right. Now trim, and we have our opening. Now what we need here? Exactly, we need those hidden lines. So in here we can do a right click and select, add selected. And after that, we can easily draw our lines. We have some stairs here. If you take a look, we're going to talk about stairs and their standards that we need to consider in our work later on completely. But for now, we can just easily use offset to draw these stairs. Just remember, the standard width that we can use for stairs is 30 cm. So we have to use a 30 cm offset. How many? 1, 2, 3. We have to use 3 30 cm offsets. All right, let's draw the first line here. O enter, 0.3 towards interior. 1, 2, 3. These are our stairs. Now we just need to put them in their own particular layer. We don't have stair layers. We can use elevation layer for them. But this is not a necessity. You can create as much layers as you want. This is actually based on your taste and how you want to work. But for now, we can just use elevation layer. You can create layers for every simple detail that you have in your plan. All right, now if you take a look at here on the stairs, we have this, you can say, arrow-shaped symbol. Sometimes you might see some other objects in some other files, and you just say, wow, this is a good object. I like it. I want to use it in my own file. Now we want to learn how we can do that. We want to learn how we can use different objects from different files in our own file. So what we can do here, exactly, we can use copy paste, just like what we do in Windows, for example, we use Control-C, Control-V to move around different objects in different drives. So now we want to use this symbol in our work. First, we need to draw its line. Okay. Now to copy the symbol, we can press Control-C, then Control-Tab, and then in our file, we just press Control-V, just like this. And now I can easily move this up here. The only thing that remains is this point here. Now, because we haven't talked about circles yet, we can use another command here. We can use donut, not the one that you can eat, the one that you can use for your drawings. Let's see, let's check the icon here. As I said, we use it for our drawing, so it is in drawing box. Here we can see its donut shape icon as well. We can select it from up here, or you can use its shortcut key, which is DO enter. Alright, if you check the comment bar, it says that we need to set our inside diameter first. Let's use 1, for example. Then outside diameter, and this time we can use 2. Alright, now we have this circle shape or donut shape here, which I can use in my work. The inside diameter, as we said, is 1, and the outside diameter is 2. Now let's move on. Again, DO enter. Let's use 0 for the first diameter and 1 for the second one. And just like this, we would have a full circle like this. Now we can use this command to complete our stairs here. Again, DO enter. First diameter 0. Second diameter, let's try 0.2. And click here. So we just use donut to create a full circle to put on our stairs. Okay. Alright, let's continue our work in amphitheater. And remember, do not forget these extra and intercepted lines. Always try to trim your work. Sometimes you might forget them, so try to erase them as soon as possible. And you can actually find them by turning on and off your layers. Okay, let's continue. Alright, as you know, amphitheaters have this kind of, you can say, declivity. You can call it gradient or slope, easier. Slope, whatever you want to call it. And up on that slope, we have some stairs. And on that stairs, we have set some chairs. So basically, they try to create this height difference so that all the audience would have a clear view of the scene, you can say. So that's why we have this kind of a slope, you can say, or as we say, declivity. And on that, we have some stairs, and on the stairs, we have seats for all the audience and attendants. So let's check the first distance for the first step here. Again, we are working in elevation layer 4.85. And the width for the rest of the stairs are 1 meters. Okay, how many stairs do we have? We can either count them one by one, or we can do another thing. We can select them all, and after that we can type down LI. Okay, to be honest, I was going to talk about this command in next sessions, but yeah, we can take a peek at it, right? There won't be a problem. So LI would stand for list. If you type LI, this window would open, which give me a list of all the items that I have selected. Here I have 8 items selected. This is enough of list for this session. We're going to talk about the list in the next sessions completely. As you can see, we have some other items that we need to talk about. So I have 8 steps. And what was the distance here? It was 485. Okay. Okay, let's put an offset here. 4.85. Oh, what happened here? We have a polyline. So first I need to use explode here. EX enter. And then give the offset 4.85 towards interior. Now we need to extend this like this, but instead of doing this one by one, I can do another thing. X enter. This time we can use boundary edge. This is our boundary line, and now we can just press enter. This was easier than clicking one by one, wasn't it? Alright, now let's select this and then move it in elevation layer. And then we need to use offset or enter and 1 meter. Select what we can use. We can use multiple, yes. So enter, and now I can just click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now let's select these and then press Shift and unselect the axis. Use LI to check our list. Oh, there's actually 9. So let's remove one of them. I'm sorry about that. Alright, let's move on. Down here we have another entrance. We have a stair as well. Distance is, let's say, 1 meters, I guess. Yeah. And what else we can say? We can say that the stair here has an intersection with a scene. We can go on and try to symmetrize them. I know they're not the same, but we can try to draw them as same things. Check the distance again. We have 1.20. So down here, put an offset 1.20 meters. Then select it and put it in an elevation layer. Okay, after that, we can use offset again. O enter 0.3 according to standards of the stairs. Now L enter, connect these two. Now we need to draw the direction line, so type down PL. We want a center point of this line here. It shows this point, but this is not correct because it shows the center point for the whole line. We just want between these 2 points, so we can type down M2P again between these 2 points. Now we can use the auxiliary lines to draw our stair direction. Now what technique we said we can use here? Exactly, donut. DO enter. So first diameter 0. The second one we can put it on 0.2. It's kind of large. Again 0 and 0.1. Yeah, this is good. Okay, now for the arrow, we can use the arrow up here. We can copy it. But there's a point here. If we copy the symbol down here, we need to rotate it, and we haven't talked completely about rotate. We mentioned that we talked about some generalities, but we haven't learned completely how we can use rotate. So for now, we can just leave it. Now we can mirror the stairs based on the symmetry axis here. Okay. So select and MI. Then for mirroring it, we need a midpoint between these two axis line that we have here. So again, type down mid-2Point, mid-2P, midpoints between these 2 points. F8 activated. Okay, and after that we have the line for our scene with some kind of a thickness. Let's see. And we can just draw it like this. Alright, what else? Alright, the stairs in this side, we can close it down. And now the stairs for the in both sides are similar now. And you can add a 10 cm offset for this line here, or whatever you want, 15, 20, etc. Okay, after that, let's see what has happened behind this line, behind this scene. It's kind of ironic, I know. Alright, first let's check the distance for this wall, 3.20, okay, and a 10 cm wall here. And after that, we have a 1.10 meters distance again. What was this again? 3.20. All right. Okay, so in here, we need to offset 3.20. Then again, 10 cm. And after that, 1.10 meters. And another 10 cm down here. Okay. Now select them all and put them in wall layer. Okay, another point here, because we have activated selection cycling, it tells us that we have an overlapping situation. So instead of clicking or selecting axis, we can select the red line that we want. Now we can put them in wall layer. Okay, now down here, what's the distance here? It is 2.5 meters, okay? So in our file, get an offset 2.5 meters. Okay, let me just check the plan. All right, it is closed, so we can easily just trim the extra lines. All right. Next. Well, actually, guys, if you think that this is getting too simple or somehow iterative, you just think of this as some kind of an extra practice that we are doing together. Here we have our door opening, and if we check the distance here, we have 1.3 meters. Okay, so let's try it in our workspace. Now you can use trim, or you can use another technique. Which one? Fillet. Okay. Alright, so if you take a look at here, we have another symmetrization situation. So let's draw the stairs first, then we can use our mirror. Okay, let's move in the elevation layer, right, and enter from this part. Let me actually see if I'm doing this correct. Oh, this is actually 20 cm. This is not 10 cm. All right. So we can just select this, then enter, move it down. Then we can use fillet to connect these lines. Then use line, enter to draw the stairs. Okay, let's draw the stairs. What was the width? It was 30 cm. Okay. Okay, let's draw them. And now we have 1, 2, 3 steps here. Again, let's type down PL. We want to draw the direction line again. Here, it is easier to start from this side, so we can type down M2P again. Now that we have the center point, we can easily draw the direction lines of our stairs. Okay, like this. Now, DO, donut. First diameter 0, second one, 0.1. Again, we didn't use the arrow because we haven't talked about rotate. Now, select all the items that we want: the wall, the stair, the donut, and this line, even this line down here. I'm sorry. Now, press enter, but mirror it based on where. It might be here, yeah? I guess this is the midpoint. Let's see if it works. Alright, so that wasn't a midpoint. Now, what we should do, we can, well, before doing anything, take a look at here. We have this here in this side, and this is not similar to anything in other side. But we can actually make the best out of this. We use mirroring to symmetrize this to the other side, and now we can just move this and connect this to the wall, just like this. And then we can trim this out. Done. We can just work on this wall now. So go to wall layer, L enter, and this is our wall. Now let's activate line weight to see what we can do some editing. Here, erase, and down here we can use fillet like this and trim. Alright, so this was our amphitheater. We just need to work on this line here, the curtain line, which has a zigzag shape. Let's see what we can do. Some people think that they can draw this with line. For example, if we activate polo tracking and put this on 45 degrees, we can start drawing the lines like this, like they try to somehow create this shape in one straight line. It's possible, but it's actually very time consuming and quite difficult actually. So just don't do this. Actually, let's say that this is wrong. Okay, let's just delete this to see what we can do. Let's move back to the elevation layer, then draw a line. This is, for example, our reference line here. Okay. Now, what we can do here is we can use one of the line types called zigzag. So if we open this line type, then load, and in here let's find zigzag. Where is it? There it is. Okay, now we can just select our line and in here put it on zigzag. Alright, but still we need to do something else. We need to set the scale. So Control 1, and now as we can see in here it says that your line type is zigzag, but what is your scale? We can, for example, put in 0.1. It is too large. What about 0.05? This is not bad, but what about 0.03? Yeah, this is better. And this was our curtain line. All right. Okay, so far in this session we learned how we can use mirror, how we can use this technique for somehow work fast. Wait, what was that? Oh, let me just use fillet here. I just forgot that. What else? Guys, remember, we can't use fillet all the time. Sometimes we can use some other techniques. For example, here we have used polyline for drawing this item. So if we use fillet, the whole line would get erased. So first we can use explode, then we can use fillet. Alright, as I was saying and got interrupted by, you can say, my own mistake, which, again, let's call it a happy mistake because it made us go through the techniques and items again. We learned about mirror and donuts, and we learned how we can draw the stairs and their somehow direction lines. We learned about door openings and hidden lines that we used in different views. And the things that remain are these areas that aren't really complicated. You can do it yourselves as a practice. For example, you can draw the walls in one side and work on the openings later. We just need to work on this area, which first we need to talk about arc. Then we're going to work on the stair boxes, furniture, and doors. Okay guys, wish you all the best. See you in the next session. Good luck.